Okay, we'll just continue on from where we last left off. So as you're venturing to the Avium and you stop by this pond, Ashlyn takes her time to relax, letting that charm spell settle as she attunes to the magic of the place. Does anybody want we should do anything else in character before I move on?
Jungle will chill.
Okay. Jungle will
Cloud
chill.
gaze with me.
I'm just enjoying the view.
That one looks like a drum. There we go. Okay. Yes. Drum to the
Fiddle your
breeze.
notes back
Jungle
up.
can't use macro because he doesn't have a token.
Oh, sad. But it's a good drum.
like
It's very chill
drumstick.
drumming. Hey, you don't rule if you can't fail, and Jungle, he's a virtuoso at banging head against drum.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey.
Hello. Alright. As you take your time to rest, eventually you are given the opportunity to keep going toward the Avium, following both Jungle's and your fellow tender's lead. I will see. Go ahead and roll me those survival checks again to see if you manage to find your way back onto the beaten path of the Bandit Coalition, Bandit
real-
route.
Real quick,
All
sorry.
of us are just Chungo.
Wilkes first, what?
Sorry, I stepped away when you came back. I wanted to take a drink from the lake water.
Taking a drink from the lake, you become really doped up with this charm spell. Go ahead and roll me that charisma save to see how potent it is upon you. Same as Ashling, you feel this wave of potent lethargy kind of take hold. This very calming spell that you can either suppress and kind of shake it off and let it take hold somewhere else, or kind of let it settle into spirit.
I think Wilkes would allow any magic originating from the
Natural world.
natural forest to take hold on him.
You've been taught of this type of magic by your fellow tenders, your fellow mentors and whatnot. Many places such as this are resting places for fellow animals, blessed here by forest spirits, way before even bird folk settled into the lands of Humblewood. And here they remain, potent as ever. It is essentially a calm emotion spell that has been infused into the water and remains there. Calm emotion like cannot be charmed, cannot be frightened over the course of a minute, and any such worries kind of ebb away. Things seem to not matter as much. Apathy kind of settles in. Past hostilities, any past fights you would have had are kind of they don't matter anymore much for the duration of this enchantment.
I want to take my water skin, dump out all of the normal water that I have in it, just in the grass or whatever, and fill it with this lake water.
You can go ahead and add to the inventory. This is essentially a scroll of calm emotion in bottle form.
Oh my goodness.
Who's breaking into her house?
Yeah. It's a calm emotion. It's a calm emotion.
I need to add my shiny pebble.
Yeah,
to
the
my
shiny pebble
inventory.
it seems to be made from same
Shiny
kind
with 2 E's.
of same stone as Rollo's little compass. Seems to be made from that same exact material.
What compass?
The compass that I have.
You have a compass?
Yes.
Are we spending the night here?
Wait, do
It's
we
morning.
have an image of this compass?
We do.
Yes.
Where is it?
It's along with all your other magical.
Is it a session I missed?
Don't think so.
Anybody else wish to do anything
Oh,
before?
this was this. Yeah. So you got the compass on our way up the mountain to the bandit thingy, right?
Nope.
I think she's always had it.
No,
You've just always had
got
it?
From when we first met. What's her name? The Caracal, the one that, like, the one that we met in the very beginning.
Who?
The traitor. The cat
Oh.
person.
The
The
woman in the
fox,
swamp?
Meredith. The fox
Yes.
lady, right?
No, it's fine.
The woman in the swamp?
Oh, no. Okay, no, the Caracal. It's, what's her name? I know who you're talking about. Set up
Calico.
shop. She's got a shot. Liza? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
Or I'm close. Something like that. Liza, yeah. Yeah, okay,
Oh,
you know, you
okay.
got it from her. Cool. This is what happens. We're on, like... Started this set, what, in April? Little things. Cool. Awesome. Continue. Sorry.
You continue. It's your adventure.
What are we doing with the compass? No, we're saying that the my stone that I picked up is made of the same thing as Rollo's compass. Okay.
Doesn't have the rune of Freya upon it, but it seems to be of a similar size and composition.
We are continuing towards the Avium at this point, but I think we all agreed to keep moving on, right?
Unless somebody says no, I'll do it as such. Yeah.
How intelligent are the elk there?
The giant elk, they. I mean, are you playing chess with them, or are you testing that out?
Can I, like, would I be able to show them this compass? And I want to see if they can recognize it by maybe, like, someone who previously came here. Who, like, I don't know. I was just curious if they could recognize it.
It's a shame that Pavel was not here to speak with animals.
Would be amazing.
But it's a general reaction you would expect from an elk. The only difference is their size, really. They sniff at it, emit a few snorts, a few elk noises, but I mean, they don't seem to react in any way that would like indicate to you like, yes, somebody has been here, or like otherwise not, kind of thing.
So, okay.
Oh.
Language barrier. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Even though Aisling is still very relaxed, she can't resist the opportunity to go amongst the foliage surrounding the lake to see if there's any medicinal herbs and whatnots in said foliage.
As the same as Wilkes before, maneuvering around the forest, you do find plenty of herbs you recognize from your studies with the nurse of the orphanage. Yeah, indeed. If you're looking for herbs for healing potions or just healing salves or burn salves, they're found abound in minute amounts, like handfuls of it, perhaps. That if you were to collect along with what Wilkes has, you would have enough to craft potions, give him a lab or a research station. There's a few flowers here that would make good teas. There are other ones that make for just sweet chew or otherwise pretty flowers that are just aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
I'll collect
Random
flowers.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Random question. Are there any get-me-nots near this body of water where we're in this area we are? Are there any forget-me-nots?
Forget-me-nots?
They're little blue flowers.
Yeah. I'm rolling for it.
You're rolling or I'm rolling?
I'm rolling for it. Yeah. Luckily enough, you find plenty of blue scorpion grasses, hyatosis, and forget-me-nots.
I'd like to collect a few and press them in one of the many books that we have in Brenda's cart.
Add them to your collection. All right. I am but the universe. I only react to what you guys say. I do a lot of driving around. I need to stop doing that.
Chungo's going to rest until everybody decides they want to go.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm good. I have my
How long do
healing,
you
I got my
have to rest
forget-me-nots,
for?
I got my shiny pebble.
As long as you-
I'm good.
It is morning after your long rest, so an hour of rest will be relaxing. Any more of that will be just you guys being lazy. But
I want to head to that Avium. Like, I am one of my work.
sure, it sounds to me like the group is ready to move on as soon as they're done the rest. For the sake of rest, short rest, long rest is all complete. Moving onwards, get Wilkes and Chungo, unless anybody else wishes to lead, to rule me those survival checks to see if you can find your way back to that beaten path of the bandit route.
Ashling is driving the cart with my proficiency in land vehicles.
Thanks to it, I'm not slowing down your pace, even through this difficult terrain thicket, because you managed to find your way through the various nukes and stuff. Wilkes assists Chungo in traversing about. You make a good headway, about 4 more hours down the path before finally you reach the edge of the forest. On the way there, you passed by the only one thing of significance that you could have checked out if you so wished. You had on one side of the forest a big path leading toward the main road, and on the other branching where bandit coalition bands, mustard yellow colored bands, have been tied to the trees leading further to another branch, and seem to lead toward a section of the wood where the tree barks are covered in this thick set of vines and large buds of flowering buds, some closed, some in full bloom, their petals the color of beige blending into this vibrant shade of pink and purple, and there's a certain smell that seems to be emanating from the direction, this sweet smell that seems to come from this slowly secreting sticky sap that seems to attract buzzing flies and mosquitoes about. But unless you wish to venture more in that direction, that's pretty much what you sense before you are presented the other way back to the main road.
That's a lot to take in.
I got the whole description, but I missed what kind of flower these are.
They're very large flowers. Some of them are as big as 2 hands put together, like so. Some of them are quite larger. They seem like jungle flowers of some sort, growing on these vines on the barks of the trees in a symbiotic kind of growth pattern, blending into vibrant shades of pink and purple that seem to attract bugs to them. I can describe more if you wish to head in that direction, or we can
Rolo,
continue
do you
on
want more bugs for your collection?
Yeah, hold on. If I pick these, will they live? Or if I can't cast a spell that will make them like live after I pick them?
If you pick a flower,
Yeah. Like,
flowers
will it
tend to die unless they're like somehow mended back onto a stem using magic, or like are kept alive via nutrients.
Okay, if I kept it alive, okay, I'm gonna make a crown out of these
But
flowers.
from just passive
What?
perception, it is not just the shades of flower attract, it is specifically the sap that's secreting from them. So the sap can be
Okay.
harvested.
I think she wants
I
flower
want the
crown.
flower and the sap, so I'm just gonna take everything. I'm gonna make a crown out of them, okay? And I'm gonna take them with me.
You and your scorpion approach one of the flowers, especially the large one. It seems to kind of, it's facing sunlight, and as it's approaching you, it seems to freak and just kind of face you, as if sensing your movement. You see an especially large beetle land on a nearby petal, and the flower quickly snaps closed, entrapping the insect within. The petal shifts from pink to this bright blue, and you see an electric buzz. An electric buzz, and see a single flash of white that illuminates the flower from inside, and you can smell the scent of fried bug, and the flower gives off a little puff of black smoke as it opens back again.
I catch Flare as she was about to like leave Brenda's crest to go in and like indulge herself in some bugs. I'm like, no. I catch her like midair, be like, no, you stay here, stay with Brenda.
So I made the crown, and I like with both my hands, I approach my scorpion. I place it over the head so bugs can approach it. So they can approach the head. He can just like eat as we go.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
You're just wearing a crown.
If you want to harvest a flower, it's easily done. You can very carefully. It's a flower, it's slow moving. You can very carefully maneuver under it and like clip it, and
Yeah.
it will live for a small amount of time, but it needs sustenance and also it needs connection. So it will need to be mended back into a stem, one way or another.
I'll probably
But for
take
now,
care
it's a
of it.
living, and it seems to undulate as if still alive. Looking around too, you can see that the vines seem to intertwine and spiral out from a central bud that's growing amid the undergrowth. Its verdant skin is fuzzy with hair-like trichomes and several stems rooted to the ground. The bud itself, quite large, larger than you are, is currently closed.
Although, do you want to borrow one of my jars to collect some of the sap so that you could use that for later
Yeah.
things?
Yeah.
I gave Rolo one of my jars so she can collect some sap.
Sure, you take one of those where you cut the sap just leaks out in volume. It's a very rich, moist plant that seems to seep nutrients from its entire network, and you manage to fill the whole container up with the sap. It is sticky, sweet smelling, and already mosquitoes start to gather at its top, stick to it, and like drown in it.
As I see that, I also collect a jar of sap.
Sure.
I think it'll be basically like an instant like insect thing that I could use to help feed Flare.
Sure. Sweet nectar-like smell to it, sticky. Takes quite a amount of effort to unstick your fingers from where the sap kind of lands on them, but eventually dries off and becomes a fine film of hardened substance, amber-like in color. Also after that, the button center is closed. It seems to sense your presence and gives off a quick shudder now and then. It's an eerie thing.
Wait, is the sap hardened in the jar? Jars have lids.
No, if
so
it's
will it
not exposed to air for a long time, if it's still free flowing en masse, it does not become amber-like. It's still flowing. It's like a fine film exposed to air becomes crystallized. If you were to
It is
open
still
the jar, yeah,
So it's still semi-liquid in my jar.
correct, yeah. As long as you cork it and it's not exposed to air, maybe add a few droplets of water in there just to keep it moist. But yeah, it should be fine flowing, survive for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. There's always a chemical process to take crystallized amber and re-liquidize it, re-moisturize it, make it
Cool.
into a
Okay.
flowing medium again.
I'm good. I got my insect jar or insect sap. I'm good. Rolo, do you want anything else besides sticky stuff and flowers? Are we gonna invest in big flowers?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
With that, you rejoin your group, and as you begin to near your destination, you catch the foul stench of meat on the edge of the forest. Eerily enough, in this sector in the forest, you can see carrion of giant elk and boars that hang from branches here and there above you. Your keen eyes spot several well-camouflaged nests made from leaves and branches that belong to some beast or another. It seems you find yourself at the very heart of the ancient wood where prowlers nest. Thankfully, you have the road right there, and should you venture to it, wild animals tend to stay away from it. You reach the end of the road, arriving at the Avium, the magical college of the birdfolk, where many spend years studying, deciphering mystic secrets, and teaching the next generation their craft. I will load us into the map, because this place is quite awesome. I like it. Everybody have vision?
It's blurry.
Zoom out a little bit, and you're like near the bottom right now.
That's cool.
Yes. 4 gigantic circular stone platforms float alongside several towers and spires in the air above you. These structures slowly rotate around a leafless and branchless tree trunk made of solid stone. The trunk towers hundreds of feet in the air, and the orbiting structures appear to connect to stone bridges which jut out of the trunk near the upper levels. You see 2 perch guards in a crenellation watch post of sort above the entryway of this petrified trunk. They both greet you, and moments later, robed, bespectacled raptor glides down to land at your feet. The minute birdfolk introducing herself. Welcome to the Avium. I am Reese Birchwalker. The Dean is expecting you if you would follow me. As
Water.
she turns around and begins to head toward the main doors, all the while you see from either side, rising from the ground, are two birdfolk skeletons. They animate to life, take form, begin to clank towards you guys, toward Brenda, toward the scorpion. They reach out their hands and attempt to grab at each one's reins.
A stableman.
Indeed, do not fray. These are just alumni that donated their bodies to literally in depth serve this college. I love this place.
Rolo heavily expects one of them, kind of like terrified, but like curious at the same time.
I wonder if I do. Yeah. Previous adventurers, mages, and alumni of the college are known to give their body off to the study of sciences or otherwise serve the college in one way or another as servants and janitors and whatnot. Have you? They take the reins if you allow them to and lead them off to the stables as the professor, Birchwalker, motions all the while toward. Come! Do not keep the dean waiting.
Okay.
A lot of things to load here. Fun times. I'm gonna say that for the sake of it, the ox and the cart and the scorpion and the wolf hawk, we're gonna stay like at the stables if you ever need them. As you maneuver inside, she begins to lead you to the large central gate, which appears to be the only entrance into this structure. Not big enough for your mounts, unfortunately. You watch as she withdraws an amulet with a crest upon it from the folds of her robe and presents it to the giant wooden double doors. After a brief moment, the same symbol etches itself in light across the entrance, and then with a heavy creak, the doors begin to part way, revealing an interior lounge. There's a main desk.
Can I bring my goose? I promise you will behave.
Your companions can come with you, your pets can come with you, just that the large mounts will not fit through the door.
Okay.
Yeah. Animals are allowed, mages are known to have familiars upon them all the time. As you and your goose maneuver in, you see there's a main desk that sits near the far wall, behind which a scribe seems to be busy with tottering piles of paper. Several chairs and couches are situated around a circular table throughout the room, which is lit comfortably by these floating braziers containing magical flames. Portraits of wizened birdfolk hang from the walls, each one wearing robes similar to those of your attendant. Behind the main desk is a spiral staircase that leads downwards. The staircase is flanked by a pair of very large birdfolk statues, one of which you can kind of see bears the likeness of a corvum whose portrait hangs from the wall nearby. Opposite the staircase, as you go past it, there's a circular platform that rests on its own in like a cylindrical alcove. Professor Birchwalker continues to lead you onto this circular platform and utters an incantation, after which it causes the entire stone disc to rise from the ground and propels you all upwards throughout the trunk. You see a few windows occasionally zip by on the way up, showing glimpses of the wood and just how high you are all traveling up the wood. The platform stops halfway up the structure. You find yourselves in an area next to a busy atrium. Following your guide, you and your companions enter what looks like a round stone office. It is surrounded on all sides by windows, through which several spires and large circular terrariums can be observed slowly floating by. The many tables inside the office are filled with all manner of disorganized piles of books, and the desk is in a similar state of disorder. Beside one of the many bookshelves here, you recognize the fragment of glowing ember that you retrieved from the fringes of the scorched grove, now resting in a sphere of glass, hanging in a metal frame off a chain, giving off this dim light glow. Beneath this illumination, you see a sable luma peek up over the books. He speaks. "Oh, please excuse me. I'm reviewing a few hundred theses for my students. Excellent works, all of them, but one does tend to lose track of time. I'm terribly sorry. I am Dean Gabe Winsworth, whose picture I believe I have."
Rolo tips her hat respectfully, saying hello.
What?
Vocus smiles and introduces himself, saying, "Hello, I am Vocus."
Oh my god, he's fluffy! I love him!
Jungle introduces himself as Jungle.
Gabe!
Oh, I know precisely who you all are. The council informed me of your arrival, and I'm quite excited to meet all of you defenders of our heart. I just thought we should meet face to face, put a face to the name, so to speak, before I let you peruse my facilities. The well-dressed birdfolk hops off his chair and makes his way toward you all the while apologizing profusely for just being buried in his work. Giving you each a firm handshake, the dean welcomes you to the Avium. Let's cut straight to the chase, shall we? I have been informed by the council why you have come, and I'm most eager to aid you in any way I can in finding a way to stop this aspect of fire. Alas, you won't find information on something that old and powerful in just any library, but thankfully, the Avium was built upon the greatest store of knowledge in all of Humblewood, literally. Beneath the main building is the oldest structure here, a library with a collection of tomes, folios, and manuscripts gathered from all over Everton. With any luck, that's where you'll find what you're looking for. Now, a disclaimer. Some of the tomes in there are a little, deadly. But worry not, our librarians are experts. They'll help you point you in the right direction, while steering you clear of more advanced material.
Oh. Advanced material?
Advanced material. Dean Winsworth presents you all with a handful of small amulets, one for each of you, with the insignia of the Avium engraved onto them. While not as polished and well-maintained as Professor Birchwalker's amulet, the Dean informs you all that these amulets, made for guests and researchers alike, will function as means of roaming the college grounds.
Awesome. Thank
you very much.
Yeah.
I think I even have a picture for that amulet, looks like. It's cool, if you buy the box bundle, you get like little handouts, handouts for each player that they can actually hold and present and stuff. It's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolo compliments the well-dressed bird in his robe.
Oh, thank you. I do take the time to really, really take care of myself. Copy image address. Cool. Right. You must be all exhausted from your journey. The amulet will grant you access to the dormitory chambers. Room and board has been prepared specifically for all of you. The amulets also grant you free meals at the campus dining hall. And while you're here, feel free to sit on any lectures you wish to attend around campus, as well as peruse the more conventional libraries housed in the orbit. And once again, on behalf of the staff and faculty of the Avium, welcome. Enjoy your stay, and best of luck to you in uncovering this new threat.
Thank you very much. Do you guys have a lab around here for making potions?
We do. We have plenty of facilities that you can use for all manner of arcane. Feel free to peruse our lab. You'll find it in the midsection of the trunk, and indeed, any member of faculty will be able to assist you with whatever it is that you're brewing. We only have one condition here. Practice any manner of magic you wish, but keep necromancy to the theoretics, will you?
What about those things outside?
Lucas' faces cringes when he mentions necromancy and says, of course.
We have
testing magic at a-
specialists and professors who have studied the field long enough to know how dangerous it really is. Madam Nightseed, our necromancy theorist, teaches the matter, but only on surface level. Gods know that things can get quite dark if necromancy goes out of hand.
Fear not. And thank you
You're welcome
for
once again.
your hospitality.
He waves a talon, and the door behind you opens once more. Dean Winsworth returns with a hop to his seat at his desk and continues his work. You are free to do with your time as you wish. In terms of exploring the Avium, from what you've seen, orbiting the petrified heart of the Avium are 4 terrariums and a dozen or so small towers serving all manner of purposes. Those of you who took the time to observe their rotation around the trunk noted each structure does so at varying heights and speeds. Some complete their cycle in under 10 minutes, others steadily orbit over the course of like half an hour. Every orbiting structure here has gliding platforms and movable bridges, which correspond with bridges sections on other structures that connect at intervals to form complete overpasses that typically align and last for 10 minutes, allowing to cross by foot. It seems that for Humblefolk students, knowing when to cross can make the difference between like missing a class or arriving on time, while for those of you with wings, the entire aerial campus can be traversed with ease.
Guess would you like to join me in going to the lab?
Rola's gonna stay here and do some research on the fire giant.
Yeah.
You guys can go to lab if you want.
Sure. So one time, in terms of alchemy, those of you proficient with like herbalism kit can avail yourselves to the campus potion laboratory, which stock reagents needed for potion making if you don't have them on you. Expenses are paid to cover the cost of associated magical herbs. Luckily, some of you already have those on hand. And any potion essentially takes 1 day. Doesn't matter what kind of potion it is. With all this equipment, it will take you 1 day per potion, regardless of its rarity. As long as you can cover the cost if you don't already have the reagents on hand. There are a couple familiar faces in the lab as you walk in. You recognize Gert, the hedge, acid studying hedge from the swamps, Susan's nephew. Gert.
What are the ways?
As well as another familiar face, the ex-toddle, Kina Brightspark.
Yeah, she's not getting her money back.
You didn't see her. She's in the chemistry lab. You're in the library.
I can still see her.
Doesn't change the fact. So in terms of that activity, as long as you take the day to do that, you can go ahead and craft those potions and add them to your inventory. The rest of you, I think, Rolla said she wants to seek knowledge.
Yeah, I'm going with it.
Sure. Accessible via a staircase guarded by 2 stone golems. You were instructed to present the Avium pendant in order to gain access to the library. If you don't ever have those pendants on you and you try to gain access to it, these golems are instructed to stop you from doing that. As you reach the bottom of the long, winding staircase, you emerge into a room filled with rows upon rows of large stone shelves, each containing several hundreds of books. Magical braziers illuminate this area, but their lights strains to reach every nook and cranny in between the large bookshelves. You see a swift strig sits reading behind a desk in the center of the room. As you approach, he puts down his book and eyes you all curiously. He has graying feathers, wears glasses, and has an ornate pendant of his own. I will show you a picture of him. There he is.
Very studious.
Indeed. I'm just flipping to the
Old
PDF.
man.
He does seem quite aged and quite wizened. I'm just literally flipping to the page in the PDF because this is where my notes end.
For once, we actually surpassed Tom's notes.
Now,
We've never done that.
sits in the same room. As you approach, he puts down his book and eyes you all curiously. The defenders of Alderhout, I presume? Right. My name is Mortain
Lucas is,
Swiftgate. Yeah?
Wilkes looks a bit flustered when addressed by such an important title, but he's like, that's us.
Aren't you in the lab with me?
So we can say he took the
Oh,
time to
yes.
do that.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't
have
realize-
we
I'm
rejoined
sorry,
them
I
in the
didn't realize we-
library, or are we stuck in the lab all day?
I'll prefer if the party's all together.
Okay.
I'm
perfect.
sorry, I didn't realize we
You
split
you
up.
will spend days here. You can take one day to do this, another day to scout out the area, another day to get all together and go into the lab and do this
Perfect.
all as a party.
Perfect. I just wanted to, for the meta, I wanted to
Sure.
understand where we all were.
I am Mordain Swiftgale, the librarian here. I have been instructed to assist you in any way I can. In terms of subjects that would help you, I have made several collections for you to choose from. I have books on the Scorched Grove, on the Great Calamity, elemental creatures, conjuration magic. What is it that you wish to peruse?
How to send that big guy back?
Fire giant that we saw at the Scorched Grove. We wanna learn about that.
Perhaps information can be found in one of the 4 tomes I just presented to you. You can pretty much pick one and see what you find. There's one on the Scorched Grove, one on the Great Calamity, one on elemental creatures, and one on conjuration magic.
Gotcha.
I'd like to read the tome about the Great Calamity.
Sure. He leads you to the section of the library and has you a very large, thick tome that will probably take you the better part of the day to read. Perusing it at first, you find little work of substance on the Great Calamity, as numerous books addressing the subjects resort to legend more than truth. Those books which do attempt serious historical study of the event note the relative lack of credible living witnesses at this point. In terms of overall scope, there is a wealth of material written about the calamity in this book, although the information is unfocused and spreads across many chapters. It could take anywhere from a day to 3 to peruse them all in depth to get a thorough understanding on the subject.
Is
In
there
the
any mention
Yeah.
can I find any mention in the book with regards to the stone we found once we defeated the ash snake?
From innate knowledge, you would know it's some sort of a magic item or a stone magic focus that after Great Calamity, many of those have indeed formed to kind of concentrate the fire elemental magic onto them. There isn't much else regarding the stone in this specific book. This book more concentrated on the Great Calamity itself. You find a passage in it that goes along the lines of, regardless of the origin of the calamity, whether or not the rumors of an elder elemental being hold any truth to them, a magical event of incredible significance is almost always certain to have taken place in every instance of study of this subject. The calling of such elemental energies, whether through evocation or conjuration, would require a mage of unparalleled skill or an entity of unfathomable power. You would imagine that such crystals would have been used to either undergo this ritual or as a result of.
And amongst the lore or fairy tales or folklore that's in this book, is there any pertaining to monstrous beasts?
Yes, there's
Related to
plenty of
the-
mention of fire elemental beasts that seem to breach into the material realm through the great calamities consequences, essentially.
So, but not like any one in particular, just a general mention. That's what I'm getting.
Not a particular one, but they all have the common theorizing of it will take a mage of unparalleled skill to summon it, or some entity of unfathomable power. Either or. That's the origin of these beasts. No particular mention of a particular one.
So the beast was summoned by someone? Like someone tried to bring it back? Like,
Food for thought. This book. What was the list of books again?
The Scorched Grove, Elemental Creatures, Conjuration Magic.
So those three?
Well, that I mentioned, unless you guys are seeking more things, I'm just...
I think I'd like to look up more about the magical stone. Is anything more pertaining to magical fire stones?
Yeah. So the Book of Conjuration Magic, specifically, let me just read real quick. Sure. The tome seems to detail a lot of elemental summoning rituals that pertain to the stones that you found. You learn the following of the Curse of the Next Day of Study. Anything as big as the aspect itself would require a huge amount of energy to seal. It would take a tremendous effort on the part of a creature, even one as powerful as the aspect of fire, to break free. From this, you can deduce that this likely couldn't have been done without the seal being weakened by some outside force. A large conjuration circle would be needed in order to seal away anything as massive as the aspect of fire. The circle may have become obscured over time, but it is possible for the aspect to have been kept dormant all this time. Only if it was completely wiped out, the circle, that is. So with that, you can kind of deduce that along with the gems you found, this magic circle is still somewhere out there keeping the beast in check in the Scorched Grove. Finally, after those pieces of information, your research concludes and leads you to another tome entirely, a treatise by a conjurer who attempted to calculate the amount of the location of this postulated conjuration circle within the grove. The conjurer's treatise is based on painstaking research on energy reading, topography, ley lines, and other academic esoterica. However, while the complex formula of this calculation remain, the pages have been torn here and there. And without these missing pages, the calculations are incomplete, and it seems to be increasingly challenging as you read through this tome to pinpoint the exact location of the circle. Somebody has taken these pages out of these books.
So guys, I'm
haven't-
thinking that from what's been said, so what we've read so far, that I think one of the main points is that this requires an individual with an incredible amount of power, whether it's their own or emphasized by, or sorry, that it's their own and then emphasized by whatever natural phenomenons they could come across. I think it would be interesting to look up or maybe talk to, I can't remember the name of the owl professor, Mordain. If we ask Mordain about just great magic users, arcane users, that could have been anywhere of that renowned in history, folklore, whatever term you like to use.
Sure, that's not a bad idea. Rolo wants to take the book that we were just covering, if you don't mind, actually, and I want to, maybe, like, figure out who was recently, like, using this book, because maybe we can get, like, the handprint of whoever was using it. Or the feather print, I suppose. If we're that advanced.
You wish to take the book out of the library, or just within you while you're in the library?
Inspect it.
Yeah,
We'll have
Yeah,
to...
is there not like a library card that says who's signed out this book or who's
Nobody ever signs out any books out of the library. All library books remain in the library, and those who wish to study them remain in the library to study them, and they will return to Mordain to be put back in their place.
Could I roll stealth or something to sneak it?
You may.
Alrighty, because Rolo wants to, so let me roll stealth.
You.
Hold on.
Interestingly enough, Mordain lingered about while you were studying the Great Calamity for a little bit, seeing if you need any assistance. But after a while, seeing that you don't need any assistance, he went to another section of the library together to deal with one thing or another. And as you're studying the book about conjuration magic and such, with the missing pages, nobody sees you sneaking away.
I have like one large peck. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
There's the two remaining books. In your perusing, you also found a book on like ash snake lore. But aside from that, if anybody else wishes to do anything while your companions are doing their thing.
Whenever everybody's ready, I'm down to go to the lab to maybe get this book inspected or something.
Before we go, while Rolo's sneaking her book, I go to search for Mordain and ask him about if there are any like I said, any users that would live up to the amount, or even close to the amount of power somewhat calculated in the book we were looking at.
You eventually find Mordain. He is reorganizing a few books in a shadow alcove of the library. You ask him the question, and he goes, I wouldn't imagine somebody would be as foolish as to dwell with breaking such seals, but it's not out of the question that there are those among us here who study in the Avium or over Evident who are capable of such magic. Yes, it would take one years to achieve such level of power, however, and I've in my time I've only known a handful of such renown.
But it doesn't need to be within this time. It could have been several generations ago.
It could have been.
There's no one that kind of sticks in your mind that might have had that kind of renown and power.
No, I trust that my fellow colleagues are smart enough not to dwell in such magics to summon the doom of all of Humblewood. In fact, I trust some of us will be working to stop the very thing rather than conjure it forth. If you excuse me, I'm rather busy. Feel free to help us with the other books I've mentioned before, but I must be going. I have something to take care of. What are you trying to perceive?
I want to perceive if I can figure out whether or not he's either lying or hiding something from us.
Roll insight.
Insight. The wrong one. Insight. Not nearly as good as my perception.
he seems nervous at what you're implying. Such a terrible idea that somebody he would know would be responsible for the doom of Humblewood. Um, he does seem nervous and wishing to end his conversation as soon as possible to get to wherever he wants to go.
I don't pursue the conversation any further, and I go back to my colleagues.
You know, if you ever need, as you go, like, if you ever need more information about anything else, I have plenty of other books I can suggest. All right, and slinks away behind one of the shelves. All right.
As I rejoin my my fellow adventurers, I kind of describe my interaction with Mordain and tell them that, like, I really think that he's holding something back. He's not necessarily, there's something bugging him about my question.
Tail him and see where he goes.
I can do that. I have pretty good stealth. Rolly, wanna come with me? You got good stealth, right?
Yeah, I don't got good stuff. Come with you.
Rolly, wanna come with me for some stealth mission?
And Rolo kind of like with both hands is holding a large book like in between her chest, so it's like beneath her coat. She
You don't
kinda,
have a bag to
waddles
put
to
it-
you. Nah, I don't got a bag.
to put that in. Rongo, you got your barrel with you?
I think Chungo left Barrel with Brenda, but took fire crystals.
Anyone have a bag for Rolo to shove her stolen book
It gets to
into?
like the book slowly slipping from underneath her paws. Just like she's trying to like keep it in her paws.
Well, no one's around at this point. We're just trying to figure out the next move.
Yeah, Rolo's like desperate to get to the lab. She's like, I'm done. Let's go. Before you
Okay,
catch me.
I'm gonna
You can't
go
tell
by
she's been
myself.
through the situation
Or
before.
Chungo, you wanna come with me to like stealth behind Mordain?
I tap my plate armor.
Oh, not very stealthy. I'm gonna
No.
I'm gonna pursue Mordain myself and stealth.
Whoever is trying to tail Mordain as he goes about his day-to-day work, go ahead and roll that stealth. I feel pretty confident that you remain out of his sight.
Oh yeah, let's go.
You're coming with me even though you're hiding from
Let's go. Wait, there's another book on my chest.
You like stuff it inside your like fancy coat.
Yeah.
Can I go to the lab while they're doing this? I want to quickly start working the potions just in case we lose our privileges to access these facilities.
We're
I'm
not
gonna go
doing
with him to
bad,
the
we're
lab
just-
too.
We're just
Wise.
tailing. We're
Yeah,
not
we're
doing
just
anything bad.
tailing.
We're just
Before you
tailing.
go, before I like sneak, I turn around real quick and I like do the motion to come here quietly to wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
does
What's
Vilcus
never
still
seen
have
your
his giant pack? Does Vilcus still have his giant pack on him?
Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas, I
For my
hand you
bag.
the book so you can go inspect like the fingerprints and all that, and I don't have to carry it around with me. And I
don't
turn
know how
back
to do
around.
that. Okay, I'll put the book in my bag.
Don't lose
There's
it.
his bag. Don't lose it. Okay, Rolo and I are on a stealth mission to stalk Mordain.
Yeah.
I'm going to the lab.
You
I'm
do-
joining Nevitz.
Going with Vilcus.
Focus. Not Nevitz.
okay.
Nevitz is dead.
I was like,
So this was your idea. For the
Yes.
record.
Very.
Yeah.
So, in the lab, I'm going to be using my herbalism kit to try and make a potion of greater healing. I already have the ingredients that I got from it before.
so as you guys are stuffing behind Mordain, he goes about his mundane work, organizing shelves, looking for the books that he handed you, and noticing that most of you have gone away. He puts them away one by one, frowning at the absence of one book. lying about and then returning to the other books onto the shelves. You stalk him as he goes throughout his day, and as the day turns to evening, you notice him nodding to a few of the servitor skeletons who abruptly stop their programmed tasks, and as you follow the skeletons, you follow them to a wall that appears to be a dead end, but the skeletons are gone. And so is Mordain.
They go all like form 9 3/4 on us.
Hmm? I don't know what that means.
Is there no way we can like?
They went through the wall, basically. Is that?
They've turned a corner and you're tailing them behind, and when you make your way around the corner to look, they're gone. There's nothing but a dead end wall there. Mordain appears from around one of the bookshelves, takes one last look around the library, gets out a set of keys, and begins to walk toward the library doors.
Investigate.
What are you investigating? You guys are just rolling dice. What are you trying to do? Talk to me.
We're helping investigate like what happened, where to go. We're expecting the wall. We're like hands on the wall, trying to like find a suspicious brick or something at a place. I don't know.
We're trying to be proactive with our spins here, man.
We're trying to figure.
You find a suspicious-looking stone that, when pushed, the entire wall shifts into a hidden section of the library,
Oh,
revealing like a secret path throughout.
really did something.
Because like you said that the skeletons and Mordain disappeared, right? When they went around the
The
corner.
skeletons appeared behind this wall, apparently, while as Mordain, branching off, just appeared just now around the corner and is walking toward the door of the library, meaning with keys in hand.
We should try to get out of here and tell Chungo and Wilkus about this and
Yes,
come back,
yeah.
revisit this.
Yes, I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
let's go.
Hurry back.
Okay.
So, yeah.
As you leave that exposed section of the wall and begin walking, Mordain.
Can we make sure that we closed the wall
You can.
before we left?
As
we
long as you
closed
mention
the-
that you do, you close the wall.
Punch the
Yeah,
button.
we closed the wall, leaving no trace that we found it. We closed it before leaving.
You close the door, you rejoin your companions, and you see Mordain stop in his tracks and does what owls do, and with a hoot turns his head 180 to look at you all. He's like, "Ah, there you are. I was actually just about to go to the Dean to seek you out. You and your fellow companions are done with your research, I suppose, yes?"
I nod slowly and try to act like we didn't do anything illegal.
Uh-huh.
Hey, who said it was illegal? Who said it was illegal? Nobody.
You are free to leave if you wish to get anything to eat upstairs. I'll just ask that you return all the books. I only managed to find 3. Where's the 4th?
Oh, I raise like a finger claw. I'd be like, I think I saw a pigeon sneak a book out like 10 minutes ago. I'll try to find it and tell you. His name was like Nimrod or something. I have no idea, but I'm sure. He took that book. I saw him. You should go look for him.
I just
Pigeon.
kind of looked. I kind of looked between Rolo and Mordain, and I just nod.
Roll me deception with disadvantage.
Deception. Where is it?
Both of us are just Rolo.
Wait, is it deception? Deception, yeah?
Yeah, deception. I didn't figure I would have to open his character sheet, but here I am.
Hey, you said you
I'm
wanted us
having
to do
fun,
more. You
okay?
didn't want to do as. You said you didn't want to do as much steering.
It's a good thing
A-
you gave me
a
book back.
pigeon. Listen, heroes of Alderheart or not, stealing from the Avium is grounds for you getting kicked out of it. I would kindly ask that you
open-
return the book.
I take my my coat and I like open it and I show him like there's nothing in here because I gave it to Wilkes before I left. So I'm like,
It is
I
a
show
fine
him.
coat, but
Are
I
you
am looking
trying
for
to
the book.
Are you saying my fur is inelegant enough?
No, dude.
You know what? I will entertain whatever this is. Lead me to said pigeon.
I'm gonna pee.
No.
Please don't. This is a library. Ma'am.
We're not sure what's happened. I'm not sure about this pigeon, but we will do our best to find this book. We're not sure what happened to it. We split with
Oh, I see. We got a mystery on our hands, don't we? Oh, all right. I see
I will
now.
personally find whoever is at fault.
With a
I
flick of the
give you my
wrist,
word.
Mordain just like throws the keys and they magically sail toward the lock, land in the keyhole, lock, and the door just like becomes like a solid stone piece, and the keys then sail back into his hands. Like, nobody leaves here till I have found my books. Listen, I've been a librarian here for over 4 centuries, and I won't have this happen in my library. You better cough up.
Right. Me and Ashley are gonna go look for that book. I give you our word, we'll find it. And Rolla kind of just turns around and heads back to the library. She has an idea.
Yeah. We go searching through the library, and once we're out of
You're not out of range for Mordain. He ain't leaving you alone. He's literally telling you guys like, you better find that book. Why you ain't living here?
I was with Ashley and we were like, distract him. I'll be right back. And I like go through a recycling bin or like the goose paper.
No. I kind of like, I like using our, because we have what is it? We use some thieves' cant.
Oh yeah,
We both speak some thieves' cant, and we kind of do some signaling, and I signal for Rolo for you to kind of like distract him so that I can write a quick message to Gift a Flare and kind of signal for her to go out a window, like so she can go.
There are no windows here. You're.
What do you mean no windows?
You're in the lower library in the roots.
Damn it!
Do you have any enchanting spell? I'm gonna for now you see Rolo like in the background just kind of gluing papers together and trying to make like a booklet and coloring.
I wanted to use Flare to like go get Lucas and Chuggo.
Can I roll? I feel Rolo feels like she's a 6-year-old coloring book, just trying to piece together something that resembles what she stole before he notices. Alright, seriously, okay. From what she remembered and from like what she saw, she's trying to like she's looking through like the bin and trying to like piece together papers and kind of gluing them, trying to make it like somewhat resemble. And it was like an old book, right? So it's kind of ragged.
It was a whole
right?
ass tome. It was like this is a book. This is a tome.
Do you know how much
it's carried in both hands and it's used to smack little thieves.
They recycle and they waste. Okay, I'm sure they like scrumple up paper.
You know
and
what?
Throw it away.
You know what? You take a few minutes to think of a plan better than a pigeon toolkit. I will go to Chungo and Wilkes here and see how they're holding up.
Okay.
You guys reached the laboratory. Conjuring a potion will take you a full 24 hours, but you can put it like to brew overnight. So that's out of the way. If you manage to spend a day you're doing that, great. If you haven't
I
done
want to find
so,
the lead scientists or whatever.
sure, you owe 30 gold.
All right. Anyways, I don't know her shit. Chungo don't know her.
And goes, it's good to see an old face. I fancy seeing you around here. It's been a while. It's been like months. So
I thought you
long.
were just a person that lived in Middlefen or whatever.
Yeah.
Chungo just thought you were just a person that lived in there.
No, I've been doing my research, my thesis on slime for quite a long time, and I'm almost done with work. If only I had the finances to complete my work, maybe I would have finally completed my magnum opus, which would have done a lot of good for the people. But alas, Gold is really hard to come by, as it turns out.
Indeed.
Especially when you keep giving it away to people and they promise you to return it, but then, like,
Oh yeah, Nevitz is dead.
oh. I see.
Play that guilt trip.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
Yeah, he was
I
good.
guess you're
Good
here
one.
to deliver his last request.
No. Chungo doesn't care.
I have a plan.
Doesn't have-
That's a-
he didn't-
That's a
last
nice,
one.
that's a nice shiny set of new armor. That costs what, like 1,500 gold pieces?
It costs saving the tree.
Hmm.
It costs Chungo nothing.
Man, government's fucked up. They finance you soldiers, but like, oh no, the sciences. Oh, ignore that.
No.
Anyway, how can I help you?
Chungo has this, and I pull out the combined crystal thing.
Ooh.
Fire crystal.
Oh, a funny thing. We had one of those arrive, like a small piece, just a few days ago. Now it just hangs in Dean's office, but that's what is it exactly? Is it it's quite warm? It's some kind of a heating medium.
Chungo pulled it out of the eyes of a giant ash snake thing.
Kick-ass.
Yes,
What do you want her to
that's
do?
all
with this?
Chungo knows. You're a science person. Do science.
I suppose I could spend like, I don't know, an hour like studying it and finding out all its properties. I would imagine you would have.
It explodes.
Oh. You can have it.
I push it back to her.
Okay. Like, what's the trigger for it exploding?
Breaking it.
I will make sure not to do that then. Volatile substance. Key sign. Are you giving this as a gift of sorts? Compensation for gold lost?
That and figure out if it has anything to do.
I'm sorry, anything to do with what? Hello?
With the big monster point across. Oh, am I dead? Is my internet dead?
No, it's all good.
You
You're
cut
back.
out. You cut out for a second.
Okay.
Kinder Brightspark usually specializes in slimes, but she can do her best to, I don't know, roll Arcana, I guess. And,
I don't know. You're a science person.
Yeah, she rolled 17 Arcana, so over the course of you guys borrowing your potions and stuff, which takes some time, but eventually you are able to like let it settle, and after it will take you about 8 hours of active work, and the rest of the day just let it kind of brew itself. She can take that time to research this crystal and come back to you with the results. She promises to come back to you with results come tomorrow morning to see
Okay.
if this has anything to do with the giant fire creature, for sure. And she'll
Would it be
return. Yeah.
Would it be possible for me to brew more than one potion at the same time? So like while
One potion one day.
Okay.
It's just that it requires your attention for one potion. If you do, I'll say this: if you want to brew more than one potion, I'll allow it. But roll me like your 2 proficiency, a normal roll, and it will like judge the quality because now your attention is divided. Because concentrating on one is an automatic success after a day if you have the gold, but doing otherwise that's like a challenge now. So if you want to risk it, one of them coming out good, the other one coming back not so much, or both of them coming out fine. That will be like what the decides essentially.
No, I'll be patient.
Okay. Fair enough. That's probably for the best. I'll also say that reading each tome took you a few days. So if you want to brew the more common potion first, and now concentrate on the more complex potion, you can have the healing potion already brewed.
Wait, are you saying it's been a couple days and they haven't come?
I
to
said that
find
each
us?
research of the book will take you anywhere from 1 to 3 days. Yes.
You guys haven't attempted to combine us. Although I'm going with these are in separate timelines.
Kenna is third, so she was kind of with advantage. So she got a 20. Nice. All right. Okay. Chungo, you do that. Nevis does that. Anything else before I return to our thieves?
During the second day, I wrote in my character sheet an abundance of 4 that can be used to create potions. Can I use one of these bundles to create a potion of heroism?
Heroism?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the first part. What did you have that the ingredients wise?
2 times during our travels, you mentioned finding flowers and other.
I'm
herbs
gonna
that
reduce
could
the
be
price of
for
making it
herb.
for sure. You will just have to cover a few more expenses, like 50 gold worth of expenses more to get the rest of the reagents from lab, and you can easily craft yourself a potion of heroism over a course of 8 hours. 50 GP.
I'll ask Chunko real quick if I can take 50 GP from the party mentor.
I drag him away from the axolotl
From the
so that she doesn't see this, and I give him 50 gold
How dare you?
from the inventory.
How dare you? Just 30 gold.
It's funny!
It is funny.
Thank you.
No problem.
Gonna remove one of those bundles from the character sheet and make the potion.
This is coming from Pavo's money, by the way.
Because he's not here.
Yeah.
Alright. So we'll say that you task yourselves with that. Oddly enough, you notice that your companions don't come back for the entire duration of all that.
That is strange. I wonder what they're up to.
Indeed. What are you up to, you two? Have you thought of a plan?
Yes. Okay, so so he's still like eyeballing us. right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
He's like hands behind his back, like keeps like.
Rolo like takes off her hat. She's like approaches like, I'm sorry. Cards on the table. I'll have to. Just give me a second. She takes like a deep, long sigh and looks up at him and. Okay, I can't read. And she starts like covering her eyes and like crying like, I have bibliophobia. I cannot read. I am scared of books. You must understand.
I understand completely, and in your fear, you have taken it out on my book and kidnapped it.
I wouldn't ever.
I go over to Rolo and I hug her in my embrace and I do a turn over my shoulder and I kind of look at Mordain all like, do you have no sympathies for this poor creature that is traumatized from this fear and her past of dealing with this fear?
My heart languages so not for thieves. I don't give two hoots. Give me back my book or I'll get the dean.
I
get
have
to roll. Do we get to roll deception again?
No, you don't rule the deception. I fear books, so I stole it.
No, I get rolls good. I would never do such a thing. Steal from other people.
So
especially
who would have done it?
slaves? So who?
You can search
done
us.
it?
We
You
don't
can search.
have this book.
We are.
Who done it?
We are
Who done
women,
it?
all right. Are you targeting us just because we are female?
No. Stop.
Yes. Yes. Are
I
you
am
trying?
I am targeting you only because you're the only ones in the room.
And you can clearly see by our not so left to the imagination outfits that we clearly
Yeah.
do not have a tome of this magnitude on our persons.
Precisely. I want to talk to you.
Please don't. Listen, like, seeing that this is good, like blowing up in a weird direction that he didn't. He's like, okay, yeah, roll deception with just advantage. Fuck this. So
Hey,
weird.
You wanted us to take initiative.
Again.
Seriously.
I'm trying to breathe. Okay.
All right. Let's not blow this out of proportion. We have thieves about, and I don't want to suspect the innocent, but I can't possibly let you out of here before the book is found. I will fetch your companions and get them back here. We'll get to the bottom of this. You'll be under watch of my servitors, so try not to do anything funny. We have ourselves to deal. I'll do that, and you guys, you'll keep quiet about the whole me being sexist thing, okay? Do we have an understanding?
kind of look him like up and down with a disapproving.
Please don't.
Fine, fine. If you have to, kind of just look away.
Her ears are droopy, her tail's tucked in, like she's still like crying.
And I have like, and I have.
Morton leaves this awkward. Morton is like, you don't even have to rule insight. He's like so weirded out, but it's like, I got to get involved in this.
I like fan out my tails to like help build like a bit of like a mini wall between like our like forms and the thing, just trying to like protect ourselves.
Leaves.
Like,
He's already left.
Like...
He's already left.
Good. See, I told you. Good.
That was so close, Rolo.
Yeah.
Go get our companion.
Yeah. My cheeks.
I know, right?
Anyway,
Let's see, continue, please.
sexist now.
Oh, no, DM, please continue.
Please.
What do you guys do?
We're there, kind of waiting,
We're
and
behaving.
we're like, what should? Okay, we need to have a plan for when Chuggo and Vilkas come here. A, hopefully they don't just turn the book over when Mordain goes to investigate them, because otherwise
I
we're
was so ready to do that.
screwed. B, if they don't, when they get here, need to have some kind of plan to distract Mordain so that we can. One of us needs to get to Wilkes, grab the book from his bag, and like put it on like either like
Oh,
put some
I have a
kind
question.
of.
Yeah, I like your plan. If I distract, for example, if I distract him and then you have stealth, right? Does it work like how you would in combat? Like if I'm right there, she has like a bonus in her stealth thing, and she can like go to.
But it's only if I don't move. I can't move with that move. Like with my ambush prey, it would more or less makes me.
Also, you have this. Also, you also have that feature. Why are you asking her?
I
You're
don't
both
know.
Fulton.
Yeah, you have it too. And the thing is, it only works on us. I wish we could like put it on an object, so that way we could kind of take it out, put it on the ground, cast it on the object, and then kind of like, as we're searching around, it like show up. But it doesn't work on an object. It only works on us.
Oh, Wilkes has the water. We can like splash it on the owl, and he can like hide for a minute or something, and then we can like.
Yes, make him chill out.
Yeah, it's a stressful day, okay? But okay, well,
But I don't think we should splash on him. I think we should like come up with some kind of angle where we're like, you look so distressed about all of this. Like, here,
Give me a drink.
have some
Yeah.
water. You need
Yeah.
you look stressed.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely that angle. Let's just cross our fingers that Chungo and Wilkes don't rat us out. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Plan formed.
Django and Wilkes,
Yeah.
about halfway through your whatever it is that you guys are doing, you hear a chime. It doesn't seem to emanate from the building itself, from the surrounding, but rather in your head. A little bell. Boop, boop. Would Wilkes and Chungo please report to the dean's office?
I try to like get water out of my ear.
Now.
I look around. What the hell that was?
I'll look around at Chungo to see if he also heard it. Before
I lock eyes with Wilkes.
We
like
kiss.
gathering my stuff, getting to walk there.
We go.
You go to... Where?
Whatever the voice in my head said.
The dean's
To
office?
go to the dean's office. I start walking around and I realize, like around halfway into it, that I don't know where the dean's office is. I'm kind of just walking around looking for signs, maybe.
Jungo's also looking for signs.
You looking around looking for signs. There are no signs around. However, you notice that a few of the newer students that are around here, also as lost as you are, stop down then and turn toward like a few of the stone golems and ask them for directions. And the stone golems just like look at them and with a stony line point in a direction and go back to like their stances. And they're like, thanks.
Jungo's like asking for directions.
You ask for the
Okay.
dean's office and the stone golem is just like,
Jungo's not like asking for directions.
does not. No.
Chungo continues walking around.
All right.
I'll ask one of the golems where the dean's office is.
Chungo spends a better half, like 20 minutes, just like avoiding them. Eventually, you just walk toward one, and you're just like, "Where's the dean's office?" And the golem just looks at you for a moment, and it looks like literally like a door across the hallway. You guys were like a minute away from it, and it looks back at you.
Oh,
Give me 5 seconds.
thank you.
Oh God.
Wait, Trent needs 5 seconds out of character.
No, yeah, he's dealing with something. Man, you guys are gonna get expelled. like, welcome to the Avium Heroes. Private property. Don't mind if I do. Oh, you're just hating us because we have tits. Like,
Exactly.
I walk into the dean's office. Is Chungo coming with me?
I mean, he is. He's just Trent needs a moment.
Yes.
Taking his sweet time.
Oh God.
I'm back.
The
Damn
walking-
Ordained is rolling his natural 20.
Yeah, both Gabe Winsworth and Mordain Swiftcare are in the dean's office. Mordain has his hands folded. He's tapping his foot impatiently. It took you guys like the better part of an hour to finally get here. And Gabe just like all the while studies. Ah, you're finally here. Ah, I almost grew like a feather beard by the time you got here. Well, I guess you're really deeply into those studies, and I appreciate the
Chungo
fact.
was lost.
Ah, okay. Well, you could have asked for directions.
No.
Also, the medallion Lily has a map on the back of it. If you turn around, you can.
I turned the medallion around.
It literally
Wait,
has a
I
map of
look
what
at
you look at right now.
I look at the back of the medallion like
Nobody investigated him down, so I was like, I won't tell them. Like,
Oh,
Oh, that's
literally, this entire campus is split into like 6 sections, with the 7th one being the library below, and I can explain those later in RP chat because it's a lot. But like each of those terrariums have something in it. But it will be more relevant next session. But yeah, it does have a map on the back of it. And the dean's office is at the very top. It's this little thing over here. No, false. I guess this? I don't know. It's at the top. Mordain here tells me that you guys managed to lose a book in under 4 days of research. It seems to have gone missing, and that's most concerning. I kindly asked that it be
Okay.
found.
what book's that?
What was it again, Mordain? The Conjuration Magic 101. Fuck you, I'm not coming up with book names.
Oh,
That one.
That book hasn't been missing. I've just been holding it in my bag for studies.
I suppose it's only fair I forgot to mention that you're not supposed to take books out of the library. You got Mordain all concerned here. We've had instances
Oh.
with pages going missing and such, and we're trying to really cut down on this barbaric vandalism. If you would kindly return the book back to Mordain so we can return back to the facilities, and in future keep books in the library, that would be greatly appreciated. We appreciate everything that you heroes do here, and I would really hate to see you in any other light.
Oh, we were just trying to find fingerprints on the book. in
How
the
come?
I'm
We think maybe someone took it a long time ago and made the conjuration thing a big monster.
Mordain just goes preposterous. Nobody takes books out of the library. That's what we're trying to perfect here right now.
And yet the book's
sorry
outside
about
the
that.
library, isn't it?
I thought books could be checked out of the library.
Gives you like a dirty look,
please
like a genuine like,
misunderstand.
you're
And
right,
I-
but I hate you for it. Sorry, Wilkes, go ahead.
I just I'll take the book out of the bag and say my apologies. I thought books could be checked out of the library. It won't be happening again.
Gabe reaches out town to grab the book, if you should so give to him, and he listens through it. He's like, "Yes, these pages still missing. Sorry, I'm just making sure that none others are missing. I mean, I would hate to suspect you in any foul play, but really we should be careful in these days. But everything seems to be in order, unless you literally took pages out of the book while you had it in your possession.
No,
No,
I think he was just holding it.
As for fingerprints, I do have something here for this, and he seems to reach around to the shelves where many spell focuses and scrolls are about, and he has a looking glass which he hovers over the book, and with an incantation does a few divination magic spells upon it, and it's like, it seems that the only ones in possession of this book within the last 2 weeks were, well, you and Mordain.
Is it possible to divine who has been using this book for much before that?
I can reassure you before that the pages in the book were whole.
Okay.
The pages yet not found, unfortunately, but we'll find a culprit and they'll be punished accordingly, I assure you. But no, if you were, I appreciate your thorough work, but from what I can see here, and indeed he shows you whatever the components of the spell is, that indeed the only matching talent prints are that of you, your fellow companions, and Mordain Swiftgale himself, the librarian.
Alright.
And trust me, we've already looked into Mordain and into his home and possessions, and it seems that they are not in his possessions, and neither would I suspect one of my faculty. That would be quite a troubling thought. But I assure you that you should not suspect our fellow librarian in this crime, which makes it all the more mysterious, but nothing you cannot handle.
Of course.
Okay. With that, I think it is best to call it a session, guys. I really enjoyed the...
Wait, can you at least say that Rolo and I got out of the library?
No.
Because we're still in the library.
No.
I would like to
We're still
protest.
locked in the
Forever
library.
locked.
Yeah.
He just leaves us there.
This
Fine.
is-
Well, it's a good thing
I just
Mordain
think
is
you don't have
some
rights,
sexist
like-
man or something. Ain't that right, Mordain?
Welcome to my dungeon.
I have
just
no-
locked in the library.
No, but jokes aside, yeah, eventually, with the return of book, Mordain, while not in the best favor with you guys having taken the book, I understand this was all a big misunderstanding of you guys just not knowing the rules or pretending not to know the rules. He lets you off with a warning, essentially, and unlocks the library door and lets you go about the rest of the campus. I will have the books available for further research in RP, or we can do it next session. This place is huge. There's plenty to explore. I'll prepare more for it for next session then. I just feel like because there's plenty to explore, I want to present it right, and I just don't have notes prepared because I want you guys to get there, and I had a road planned, but you guys ruled really well, so we just kind of got there sooner than expected. So I want to just prepare. This place is quite awesome, especially. It's a shame Nevitz couldn't make it. Because it's kind of like...
Nevitz is right here. Oh, wait, Nevitz.
No.
Actual
Nevitz
Nevitz.
could make it. In spirit, perhaps.
Hunter didn't make it.
And that's the thing, too. Hunter's not here for one reason or another, so I want him to experience this place as well. I feel like he'll enjoy it, too. But I want to establish a few core NPCs before we go on. There's plenty of others, people to meet around. Each terrarium, it's its own thing. And I'll kind of explain that ahead. I hope...
Desert one.
Yeah, exactly. They're all neat.
Are you happy with our investigation and role playing that we got done? We don't usually do that. I feel like we did a good job.
Exactly.
DM was
Yeah,
weirded out when you
Rolo.
threw the whole, like, is it because I'm a woman? I'm like, no, it's because you're the only ones in the room and the book is missing. I don't know what the A has to do with B, but okay. Where's
Could have
the...
been an intimidation
It was,
check.
it was
Where did you book? Are you guys thieves or... No, I'm not a thief. I couldn't be a thief. I'm afraid of books. What are you talking about?
We're totally not a couple of rogues. Totally not a couple of rogues.
The worst road
Mordain, I got a
I've ever
confession to make. I have book phobia. I don't care. Give me back to my book.
It's the worst road I've ever heard
Yeah.
of.
Faster.
Life is
Have you have no heart for me? I don't fucking give a shit. Give me back my book. Like, I've been a librarian for 40 years. I don't have to deal with this shit.
Worst
it,
road I've
it worked
ever
out
heard.
in the end, right? That's all that matters.
Sure.
We worked really hard on that, okay? We like planned.
I actually had to open Mordane's like
private
character sheet to rule. I was like, I didn't think I would have to rule for librarian. Like,
Hey,
But yeah.
you said you didn't want to do. You said you were doing too much steering.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was good. Jokes aside, it was all good. I loved
It
it.
was funny.
It was funny. It's kind of hard when you split the party kind of thing to handle two things at once. But I mean, hey, that's D&D. Whatever. What can you do? I really like the fucking terrariums here because they're like literally like I think they're supposed to be like literally chunks ripped out from different parts of the like Everden to be
I want to
brought.
go to the dunes. Pre-warning.
Yeah.
I want to go to
Like the dunes are like dust bloom, like literally like a chunk of dust bloom that's been ripped out and like brought to here to study. And I'm like, that's really cool. That's a really cool concept. Same thing with that. Yeah,
Sorry, I have to go because Mom wanted
That-
me to clean.
that's what I
and
figured.
got-
It's 9 o'clock. We have to go and do our own thing.
I had so much fun. My cheeks are.
I was.
Good.
Yeah, I know my cheeks kind of hurt too.
Yeah. Okay, good night, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
And
Bye.
I was fully expecting to get banned from the college.
I was like, I'm gonna let them off with a warning because
I
like,
was like-
there's so much in this place. I don't want to like immediately ban.
I was like, let me
Okay.
just go real quickly get these potions made before I'm not allowed in here anymore.
So in retrospect, like each book takes like a day to 3, depending on how. If you guys ruled, I would have added a day and gave more information. But like, so you guys read 2 books. That's like 2 days already spent here. So if you had like that uncommon potion that you want to brew, that's brewed. If you want to like a potion of heroism, that's brewing right now, right?
Oh, does that potion take more than 1 day? I already added it. to
No,
my
it's just that it's been 2 days
okay.
since you are right. So
Can we
the first.
say? Can we say in just like in a day in between then and like now and next session that I've taken a day to do my healing potion? We don't have to do
No, specifically because you were the one researching the books and reading them, right? So you spend a day at the library. You can spend future days doing that, no
suppose.
problem. But you were the one
That's
who was
what
like,
I mean.
I'm going
Like,
to the library.
that's what I mean. Yeah, but like I'm saying that like now that we've been let out of the library and we're gonna continue our thing, can I say that like a day went by between this session
In
and
RP
next
chat, if you
session
wish to
and,
do,
like,
yeah, in RP chat, I'll type it in. If you wish to do anything over the course of your stay in the Avium, I will let you guys have like a work week, essentially to do whatever you want before things begin to develop further one way or another, depending on how much information you guys gather. Because I mean, the world is revolving around your actions, essentially, quite literally here
totally
in the
gonna
Avium.
go and we're totally gonna go explore that hidden room. It's gonna happen.
Sure.
Yes.
This place is Hogwarts. There's so much hidden stuff in here, and the whole
Okay,
like, revolving bridges.
so you're using the term Hogwarts, but you didn't get my reference of platform 9 3/4.
No,
I got it.
I didn't hear it. Like I didn't. I'm juggling 4 of your voices in my head here. Jungle Police
question.
reported
Is-
Dean's office. What?
Is scale mail literally made of scales?
Who?
Is scale mail literally made of scales, like the armor?
No, it's made of iron and stuff. It's shaped like
Oh.
scales. It's it's tiled like a roof almost, where it's
Like overlaying.
overlaying
Like little
overlaying
pieces of
metal, but it's
scale.
made from scales. There is armor made from like dragon scales or like lizard scales and stuff, but it's not scale mail. Literally, it can be, but scale mail is like an armor class. It's a design, and it can be made from wood, metal, rock, whatever,
I
crystal.
Ooh,
You can make,
Can-
you can skin an animal and make any kind of armor out of it. Usually, it's just hide armor though.
is there any like forging
Um,
to be done here?
Forging?
Yeah, there's gonna be plenty of
Did-
time to do this later.
Did I hear right? Did you say forging, like weapon forging? Yes, there's an enchanter and forgery here indeed. That's
I
like
think she meant foraging, like looking for herbs.
No,
and
no,
stuff.
no forging.
both. There's both. There's literally a chunk of the jungle tangle wilds that's floating in a terrarium here that has like the herbology department, and then there's like the upper layer. That's a perch guard of the Avium. They're a special purple robe kind of perch guard who have enchanted weapons, and in it there's a school of the god of forgery and enchanting and all that. There's plenty of that to be found here, and services
I
offered,
wanted to.
services taught.
If I wanted to go get like a dagger made or like an accessory made, I could go to the forge.
Yes, if you want to get enchanted, you just have. the simplest way is just to pay in gold, and that you have plenty of. You actually have that commission that you have, the 500 gold commission, also applies here in the Avium.
And then
Be-
we still have some gold, I think, left in just general, right, in our party inventory.
I believe so.
Yep. And
What?
from Pablo's wallet.
I would prefer if you guys track that, not me, but yes, I believe so.
Pavo's. I missed a session on money.
Alright, well, good night, guys.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
But yeah, if you want to
Thank
get all enchanted weapons that you would get in the capital come from here, so I figured it would have a forge of some sort here for that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go too.
Have a good night. And Megan,
night.
if you want to do anything, just type it in RP chat, and I'll give you a short form of what the result of what you are looking for is. Do you know where to find RP chat?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's pretty much how that works. That way, I can
Yeah,
see
no,
what you
we
want to
have-
do, and the rest of us see what you want to do.
We have so much treasure, it's not even funny.
Yeah, and you guys are not using it, but that's fine. Whatever, it's up to you guys.
Well, I
guys
think
to
it's
use it.
because that Nevitz had hoarded a bunch of it, so now we have all those gems that we can sell.
I mean, you don't have enough stuff. When a character dies, his inventory gets divvied up where appropriate, like the sword. But like, I don't think you guys took his gems, did you? I think you buried him.
Well, we in the treasure kept on Chungo in his barrel. There's 373 gold coins, 5 silver pieces, 425 gold pieces worth of gems, 50 gold pieces.
If you guys didn't bury Nevis with his glass safe,
and this is all stored in his glass safe. Yeah.
if you guys didn't bury Nevis with his glass safe and you still have it, go ahead. I don't care if you grave rob it. That's on your. I'm just a world, right?
I think we just kept it in his glass safe. I don't know. That's a lot of money.
As long as you're actually deducting it from the sheet when you're using it, I don't care. Because otherwise, yeah, see somebody added it in there on the bottom credit.
Okay, because so we used. I'm assuming that Lorian deducted the 75 from whatever he bought in Elderheart. I'm assuming because I think you said it was 500 credits, right?
Yep.
Assuming he already did the deduction of whatever it is that
I
he.
believe so, because it's 425 there. Yeah. That's why I wanted to be in RP chat, because I always bounce between RP chat and roll 20 to edit stuff as they develop, and we can get those things out of the way. That way we can concentrate the session on what matters. Hopefully I wasn't too vague with the book research. I know that those parts can be a little bit more boring than usual, but they are part of the game.
You're gonna put like all of those book descriptions in the.
Do you want me to make a handout for them? Because players usually just make notes. I don't owe you guys handouts. I only make them because I'm nice, but I can, if you don't remember what you just read.
The thing is, I remember it right now, but chances are I'm not gonna remember.
So,
I remember the basic
open
details.
up-
I remember the main points is just like that. It requires
If you
a lot
have
of
time
things,
now,
and
open up your character sheet, Ashling, click on edit, and below your image or above it, wherever you want, type notes. You can type like, Ashling read some books, here's what she found, and then make a few bullet points, just what you remember. When you're playing at a real table, you literally have a little notebook for like notes that you write in, because your character has memory depending on what you remember, right? I can make a brief summary for next session, just to remind you that you read about the Great Calamity. Here's the gist of it. You read about elemental creatures and conjuration magic. Here's the gist of it, essentially. Because I'm nice, I can do that. But I would really appreciate if people get in the habit of actually writing notes. But if you don't have any other questions, I will bid you a good night and see you all.
got like Rogue Cassidy.
Hurrah!